acting opposition leader John Kuku criticises the 2026 budget. Police Minister Jimson Tanangada announces joint efforts to address increasing drug use. Joselyn Ipei combines farming passion with community service. And in sports, OFC Professional League kicks off January 2026. Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa Osifelo. First up, Parliament resumes today. Acting Leader of Opposition John Kuku says the 2026 budget does not help ordinary Solomon Islanders who are struggling every day. He says the government's plan look good on paper, but do not fix real problems like high prices, low incomes, poverty, food security, housing, and expensive fuel and electricity cost. Kuku says the economy is not improving, debt is rising, and the government is relying too much on donors and future mining. He says prices are still increasing more than people's incomes, so everyday life will become more challenging next year.
If the cost of living remains unbearable, if basic services remains unreliable, then we are still in the same territory, only with more zeros at the end.
He says the budget has no clear plan to reduce the cost of living or help low-income families. Many people can now afford only a few basic items, and some struggle to have even one proper meal a day.
There was a wide gap last year. There was a wide gap between government's ambitions and the reality of its allocations and priorities. Say this year, that gap has not closed. In some areas, it has widened. Yes, Mr. Speaker, the budget is bigger. Yes, there are new initiatives. Yes, there are some positive shifts that must be acknowledged. But size is not the same thing as transformation.
Kuku says the country needs a government that turns promises into action and treats poverty and inequality as urgent problems. The Ministry of Police is working with the Ministry of Health and Medical Services to address the rising use of drugs in the country. Police Minister Jimson Tanangada said work is underway to put measures in place with a key focus on reviewing the Drugs Act.
We are supporting the Ministry of Health for making necessary repeal or review law Drugs Act the Tinigaran. So the Tinigaran strong punitive measures against him now got people involved on this. And that's one step that this government has taken seriously. My understanding was that end process now, signed off by Minister of Health, and that will give RSIP the not only giving level for arrest, but actually our court can actually make a ruling that actually give him punitive measure of discipline that people got involved law, drug smuggling or selling and all this. Law by him taken seriously. It will not come easy on them. And so this government is serious about addressing entry of illegal drugs law country.
World AIDS Day is commemorated every December 1st, and today marked with a talkback show. In his speech, Minister for Health and Medical Services, Dr. Paul Bosawai, raised concern over the rising HIV cases in Solomon Islands. He reported 34 new cases this year, bringing the total to 79, with 9 females and 25 males affected. Now, a trend he described as alarming. Dr. Bosawai urged those living with HIV to come forward and continue treatment, stressing the importance of proper care to prevent harm. He also reminded the public to stay safe and be aware of HIV risks.
Previously, before 2024, we have been detecting on average, imi detect him or imi find them 1 to 2 cases lo 1 year. Last year, imi look him surge or increase lo HIV cases, and imi record him now 8 new cases. This year, imi record him 34 new cases and hemi total up to 79 cases. Of these 34 new cases, 25 now got a man, 9 got a woman. Total number of positive clients now got a 48, 3 of whom are not on treatment. So 3 fala now, no treatment. So me like for tale man you 3 fala, please come lo health facilities lo you me so that you have receiving treatment. Time you receive him treatment, viral load blow HIV, bahem drop and you have garem now a long life.
Australia is working closely with Pacific governments, particularly Solomon Islands, with the AFP leading support through resources and expertise. In a doorstop interview with Australia's Assistant Minister for Pacific Affairs, Senator Nita Green said agencies are continually learning more about these threats and that coordination across multiple sectors helps identify criminal organisations and respond quickly.
The particular things that we're doing here in the Solomon Islands is we have had a conversation with your government about what resources we could provide to really tackle some of these problems. And the other thing that we're looking at is whether we can improve legislation, which at the moment doesn't necessarily criminalise or regulate these types of activities. So there's lots of work that we can do together, and we're committed to doing that. We know that this will have an impact not just here in the Solomons, not just in Fiji, but all across the region, and touch our coastline as well. As I said, I live in Cairns. This is not very far away from my hometown where these things are happening. So we're very committed to working together. I had the chance while I was here to get a tour of the Forum Fisheries Authority. That's an authority that's actually hosted here in the Solomons, and I think they're doing incredible work to use what would normally be used as search and rescue tools, but applying them to this new transnational crime and narcotics issue. So we'll continue to work together with the AFP, who do an excellent job here in the Pacific, and use the expertise of all of our partners to stamp out this type of crime.
She said the issue requires a regional response, noting that Pacific countries share an ocean and must also share resources, knowledge and experience to address transnational crime, especially narcotics, which she says has severe impacts on communities. Minister for Health and Medical Services, Dr. Paul Bosawai, is calling on the private sector across Solomon Islands to implement HIV policies. He says these measures are vital to prevent the spread of HIV and slow rising cases. Dr. Bosawai adds that including prevention strategies and support systems in workplaces will raise awareness and help the country fight HIV.
And me like for acknowledging few companies, private companies that otagarem HIV policy, and one of which is GPOL. Hemigarem now HIV policy not to discriminate. And ota barawa putum na lo walling blokata lo every offices. And I do want to encourage all private sectors to do have HIV policy lo ota respective companies blow across Solomon Islands, and also ota garem rights too. Ensure the protections of rights for women, girls, and LGBTQ plus people who continue to face disproportional barriers in accessing healthcare.
The Pacific Australia Skills Program is said to involve close collaboration with the Ministry of Education to identify priority training areas while also engaging businesses and communities to ensure the initiative is tailored to local needs. The newly launched Pacific Skills Australia program is designed to be flexible and responsive, ensuring Solomon Islands can access the skills it needs when required.
Is designed to be flexible and responsive so that we can get the skills that Solomon Islands needs when they need them. And that means that we'll be working very closely with the Minister for Education about what types of skills and training people would like to see rolled out. And we'll also work with businesses and community members to make sure that this is a tailored program. One of the good things about this program is it will closely link with the Pacific Labour Mobility Scheme and also the work that we do to improve private sector businesses. That collaboration between all of the programs, which means that we'll have workers who are getting skilled here, have the opportunity to go and work in Australia, and when they come back, they'll be able to apply those skills to private sector businesses. We know that skills are incredibly important for economic development. That's why I was really proud to launch the program here today, and I know that it will make a really big difference to have this program rolled out, not just here, but around the country as well.
The program builds on nearly 2 decades of collaboration under the Australia-Pacific Training Coalition, which supported 2,186 Solomon Islanders to earn full qualification and a further 5,843 to complete short courses and micro-credentials. The Member of Parliament for Laubailelea, Ben Mainu, today handed over a 40-horsepower Yamaha outboard motor and boat to the Dai Clinic in Laubailelea constituency. The equipment was procured using a gift initially presented to Mainu by the Chinese embassy, which he redirected to support the clinic's transportation and service delivery.
On behalf of the Chinese Embassy, we would like to announce that we are donating this clinic or ambulance boat for this clinic with OBM. That for the past 1 month of your constituency is also an important part of Malacca province. That for the past few years that we have very strong subnational cooperation between Malacca province and China's Jiangsu province.
We thank you too for Chinese government and embassy, Chinese embassy, the town, the Oceania, for giving me one for a gift that we give for clinic lo Dai, then waiting one for a clinic lo border lo Laubailelea. Panama clinic, we just give one for a solar system. Buy me go for giving got a fridge and something for the clinic split. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Also last week, the team handed over a 6.2 kilowatt solar system to Panama Clinic in Ward 10 to improve essential healthcare services for the people of Sulawesi and surrounding communities.
Today is a day of great joy and pride as we come together to officially hand over of this new medical transport for Dai Clinic. This is an agreement of cooperation of many projects between Chinese Embassy in Solomon Islands and the Laubailelea constituency. Therefore, I am honored to officially thank the Chinese Embassy in the Solomon Islands for this generous support. However, this is not just a boat and an engine. It is a sign of progress, a symbol of hope, and a promise fulfilled for the most needed one in the rural area of Dai Island.
Today, Monday, December 1st, West Papuans worldwide mark 64 years since the Morning Star flag was first raised on this day in 1961, symbolizing their declaration of independence. In Honiara, Solomon Islands, UK spokesperson for the Free West Papua campaign, Koteka Wenda, joined local solidarity groups at Dreamcast Art and Theatre, Kolale, to commemorate the historic occasion and renew calls for self-determination. Koteka Wenda described the day as an important milestone for West Papuans and says their struggle for freedom from Indonesian rule continues.
Today we mark 64 years since the first time that the West Papuan flag was flown in West Papua. Today we are here in Oceania, Solomon Islands, with all our friends, all our Wantoks, raising the flag today on this 1st of December historical day. And we just want to give a message of support to our brothers and sisters in West Papua, Melanesia, that you are not alone, that we all stand up together alongside. Papua!
Merdeka!
Merdeka!
Papua!
Papua!
Merdeka!
Merdeka!
Papua!
Free!
West Papua!
Free!
West Papua!
Free!
West Papua!
She appealed to Melanesian nations, saying they share a common culture and identity as one Melanesian family, and urged them to support the campaign for a free West Papua. She added that West Papuans are not alone in their efforts. Over the weekend, Ipei Adventist College of Nursing held its 8th graduation on the 29th of November 2025, awarding 28 students Bachelor of Nursing degrees, bringing total graduates to 176. The ceremony themed the journey of healing and humility in God's service. Here's Limal Totogi in East Koyo Malaita Province with the special coverage.
Ipei Adventist College of Nursing has marked another significant milestone with the celebration of its 8th Bachelor of Nursing graduation ceremony on 29 November 2025. The event saw 28 students successfully graduating with Bachelors of Nursing degrees, bringing the college's total number of graduates to 176 since the program first introduced its partnership with the Pacific Adventist University. The graduation was attended by distinguished guests including the CEO of Ipei Adventist Hospital, Mr. Willie Baifua, Associate Professor for Health Science at Pacific Adventist University, Dr. Rachel Tombe, Nursing Council Representative Julie Hitu, and the Northern Region Director of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pastor Eddie Richardson. Their presence highlighted the importance of the partnership and the shared commitment to strengthening the nation's healthcare workforce. The graduation ceremony was held under the theme, The Journey of Healing and Humility in God's Service, a message that reflects the college's long-standing mission to train nurses both professionally, competent, and spiritually grounded. Over the graduation weekend, parents, guidance, and family members traveled from various provinces across Solomon Islands to witness the achievement of their children. Many expressed their heartfelt appreciation to the college for providing guidance, support, and care throughout the students' 4-year academic journey. One of the highlights of the ceremony was the presentation of a new signboard for the school by the graduating class of 2025. The class president during the handover acknowledged the dedication of Ipei College of Nursing Administration, the support of Ipei Adventist Hospital, and the hospitality of the people of Kauai. As the 28 new graduates prepare to join the workforce, the ceremony marks yet another step forward in boosting healthcare services throughout the Solomon Islands. Ipei Adventist College of Nursing remains committed to producing capable, compassionate, and service-driven nurses for the nation.
Beside her work in public office, Joselyn Ipei never lets her love for farming take the back seat. Now serving her 3rd term in the Te Motu Provincial Assembly since first being elected in 2014 for Nea Nule Ward in Te Motu Province, she has also been nurturing a taro farm since 2019, supplying fresh produce to markets in Honiara and Lata. Now, part of her harvest even reaches the prison service, reflecting her commitment to giving back and supporting rural communities through agriculture. For Miss Ipei, farming is more than just a livelihood, but it's a passion that started at home, born from the joy of watching plants grow and inspiring others to embrace small-scale farming for a brighter future. Here's Joselyn.
Yeah, me, Honorable Joselyn Ipei from Nyanole Ward. Apart from my political career, this is what me engaging me level him. This is a farm of taro. This taro, I no longer call it as a garden. It's a farm because it's. I planted about 15,000 plants inside this garden, and I'm in this farm. I have 2 big plots of taro. This is the first one, and I have another one right back at the corner. I think we must have a refilling roughly about 50 kilo bag, yeah. By himself filled up. It's 100 or 120 bags. Yeah, so it's a good money. Yeah, so me encourage every farmers. No other words, especially within Nyanole. I mean, everyone on Nyanole Savelo. This, I mean, what me do, me, because they are all aware and they want to come and help out to Taro farming. After every harvesting, me give them out of planting materials. Everyone's interested for plant, and me encourage them with that. Sometimes I even help them out to, get labors for study more for that, and they do their own thing. And then after taro brought them ready, I bought the taro from them, and then we help for Oceania. Nyanole Wood around Neboy community, Nole Farm, Ipei and Banyo communities. So others have taken turns for councils. Me give them a little bit for just buy them sugar and something. But they're happy, I mean, with those little things that Miss Ava give them. In this farm, I have only 2 varieties of taros when we planted inside the farm. This one is the famous number 1 variety taro, meat taro, yeah, or corned beef taro. And then the other one is the selfish taro. Selfish taro na a popular one. And actually, me engage in stuff for planting big farm Ocean because Ocean me leader, yeah, and me got a big heart. So with the little that I have received from the whatever me job me got, me have no enough. So I'm planting these taros and then me got them. Me find the markets with him Oceania. Sometimes me buy me sell lata. Sometimes me sell Oceania, and the money that me earn me help him with the families so the amount of school fees blogata. And helping me for continue my job me, and then several other related family assistance when me have help for him lokata. So yeah, this is what all along me do.
That's Joselyn, who shares her story with freelance and local content creator Jason Kagame during his latest trip to Lata, Temotu province. And moving on now to regional news, Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister James Marape says his government will not stay silent on human rights concerns affecting Melanesians. This includes those in West Papua. He says Papua New Guinea has raised allegations of human rights abuses with the Indonesia government many times over the years. Marape says while Papua New Guinea respects Indonesia's sovereignty, the country has a responsibility to speak out if atrocities occur. He adds that Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto has assured him that the concerns will be looked into. Fiji's trade deficit has widened by 9.3% as imports continue to rise twice as fast as exports. The Reserve Bank of Fiji latest quarterly update shows demand for Fijian goods has weakened, while almost all import categories have increased. The deficit was partly offset by stronger tourism and remittance earnings. Tourism income rose 2.3%, driven by higher daily spending from visitors. And that's regional news. Stay with us. Coming up next is Tavuli Sports. Welcome back. Now in sports, as we come to the final month of 2025, a major lift for football in the Oceania region with the OFC Professional League, which is set to commence on the 17th of January 2026. The OFC Pro League will use a circuit-style system with matches played in rotating host cities across the Pacific. 8 clubs from 7 Pacific Island nations will take part in the competition. Each circuit will feature teams competing in a single venue over a 10-day period. Solomon Islands will host round 4 in March from the 14th to the 19th, 2026. And that concludes our Tavuli News Bulletin for today. If you have a story you wish to share, do send us an email. That's newsdesk@tavulinews.com.sb. I'm Lisa, Aussie Fellow. Thanks for joining us.